we talked about Donda because they announced that they were shutting down the school, at least for the time being, in an indefinite hiatus. And it turns out that wasn't true at all.
Well, Kanye always comes out ahead, apparently.
That wasn't true. They found that parents and children were still milling in and out of the school at their various locations, which were secretive and hidden the entire time. So did they ever shut down? Unlikely. But now a lawsuit has been launched by a couple of former employees who got fired last month. It's a mother and a daughter.
People are asking what Donda Academy is. We should give them a we should give them a refresh on what Donda Academy is.
Can you also read the headline for this Insider article too?
Yes.
Yes. Students at Kanye West's Donda Academy were only allowed to eat sushi for lunch, which they had to eat with their hands on the floor. Former staff allege in new lawsuit.
What a headline.
Right?
There were three different headlines. The other one says, Kanye West forbids students at secretive Donda Academy from wearing Adidas or Nike, former staff allege.
Now that's just petty.
The other one says, Kanye West doesn't let students at Donda Academy use the second floor because he's afraid of stairs, former staff allege.
I watched him walk upstairs. That's cap.
He did walk upstairs.
That is cap.
I mean, he's walked upstairs, but it was terrifying for him.
So that's why all that happened here. We made him walk upstairs.
And then he walked back downstairs.
Holy crap.
20 minutes later.
He should have just done the podcast on the first floor. None of this would have happened.
Yeah.
So these two plaintiffs are a mother and daughter who were hired at the school in November and January. And obviously this article rehashes the anti-Semitism debate and the White Lives Matter shirts debate. But if you're getting hired at Donda that late in the game, you're kind of complicit, right? So
did you see
they're canceling themselves.
Vanity Fair did something on Candace Owens recently. I saw that on Dallas's Instagram.
Something meaning what?
She had there was like a post about her on the Vanity Fair Instagram that didn't look like they hated her.
I think it was because she asked an interior decorator if like she could hire him to decorate her house, and then he said like he would rather be beaten with a stick or something.
Sounds like a nice guy.
David Netto. I don't know why I know that, but anyway.
Rather be beaten with a stick. That's awesome.
So they alleged a lot of bizarre things went on at Donda, specifically that they overlooked bullying, which I mean honestly I'm fully in support. The children weren't allowed to sit at desks or have chairs. They had to sit on the floor on cushions, and the teachers had to either stand or sit on stools. So there were no chairs anywhere. There weren't enough trash cans. They said that the students weren't allowed to finish crossword puzzles or coloring pages.
They could start but not finish. They're like,
I don't know.
You need to know what it's like to not finish something.
Is it like, oh, we've got one from Perturbed Alpaca that says, who's they though? Stairs. We found out.
That's the answer. I didn't know that.
It's stairs. Yeah, I don't know if it was like they weren't allowed to do crosswords at all, or they just weren't allowed to finish the crosswords, because it's like good for your building character.
Okay.
If you can't finish the crossword.
He's just making their ADHD worse.
That was another one they mentioned. Obviously this school is not a traditional one. It's focused on music. So like they had this choir that they were really into that would like sing at the Sunday
church thing.
What does he do? It's like the Sunday services that he does. They focused heavily on sports because there were a lot of students that got into Donda with sports scholarships. And it's not, he wanted to focus on like real life skills like agriculture, but not as much focus on like the core curriculum.
I wonder if he's got a class, you know, that old inside joke. It's like you go to school and they're like, can somebody teach me how to do my taxes? And they're like, no, but we'll teach you how to do like a bunch of stuff you don't.
We're gonna
to
teach
know.
you pre-calc.
Yeah,
but,
it's like parabola. It's like we're gonna teach you a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter, but we won't teach you how to do your taxes.
Yeah, does Kanye
do you
have
think he has a tax class?
I have no idea.
He should have a tax
like part
how
of
to form an LLC.
Part of the appeal of Donda Academy is that no one knows what goes on there. So
it just sounds like a pyramid scheme.
It's like for LA elites.
Yeah. I mean,
like a multi-level
you're
marketing
signing up
scam.
for a Kanye school. Like,
you know what you're getting into, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
And the parents seem very happy there. They're still bringing their kids.
Like he goes to the class. They're like, "Is this art? I don't know. You tell me. Is it art?" And then they just sit there
So-
and they just have existential crises for an hour and a half.
I don't know. That's better than pre-calc.
The
you go.
plaintiffs say that Ye provided lunch for staff and students each day, but they allege that throughout the entirety of their employments, the only lunch available to students was sushi. So it was widely known that Ye spent $10,000 per week on sushi for the students. I think we might work
pretty
at Donda
awesome.
Academy.
That could be. There's a lot of sushi here.
There's a lot of sushi that gets ordered to this building.
It's Kanye sending it here
Yeah.
himself.
I-
Tim Ye.
Yeah.
Tim Ye. It's
I wouldn't
like-
complain about the. I don't know. That sounds better than the regular school lunch.
We're allowed to
Yeah,
sit in chairs,
yeah.
though.
Yes, we do have chairs here. Except I saw one go missing earlier downstairs.
Uh-oh.
There was a chair missing. Also, I want to know for Kanye, does he teach a class at Donda Academy?
He was recently spotted at Donda Academy, but he's not technically one of the teachers.
Like a Pro Tools class,
like
and
a-
teach them how to do audio post.
Visiting professor.
He shows up when he feels like it, basically.
That's awesome.
It also alleged that students are forbidden from wearing Nike and Adidas because he has beef with both of those brands, and they have to
But
wear all
Balenciaga's
black.
okay. But Balenciaga's probably okay, man.
Yeah, he's cool with Balenciaga still for some reason, but they have to wear all black.
So we could all attend Donda.
Yeah.
So
we're good.
Yeah, we're great.
we're basically Donda students already.
We have the uniform.
if you're catching on.
Dude, I'm telling you, right after I finish PragerU, I'm going to Donda
And this was
Academy.
all unplanned. Us eating sushi for lunch today and all wearing black is not planned. We're just
Coincidence?
coincidence? I think not.
You decide.
Yeah, they're required to wear all black from head to toe.
Dude, and now Tate is out, and we can go to Hustlers U as
Here's
well.
here's a weird
Like-
part. They switched their location of the campus multiple times, trying to remain elusive of the paparazzi, probably. And they ended up discreetly located in a building marked Jouet on the front, which is a skincare company. So, are they in cahoots with this skincare line?
Could
And
you-
are they going to answer for this?
Could you read the name again?
Jouet, it's spelled Jouer.
Uh-huh.
And I had heard of the brand before, so I was like, why are they
Sounds
in the
fancy.
why are they in the headquarters building of a skincare line?
I heard the same thing. Like, excuse me?
Wait, what?
Don't worry about it.
Jew?
Well, okay, you just said it.
Well, yeah, we know that, Ye has beef with
Well, I just
The
when
Jewish
you read the
community.
name the first time,
Jewy, like Jewy.
it just
it's a soft J though.
yeah, it just
Jouet.
What's a hard
know?
J?
well,
It's
it's
ja
when you throw a
versus
little
ja.
like offense on it. You know.
Oh no.
I'm telling you, like, for the classes, like now they're talking about. Did you see one of the states? I don't remember which one it is talking about. Arizona, I think, is thinking about going to 4-day school weeks.
Hell yeah.
And kids everywhere are like, fuck yeah.
What
school
happens on the
sucks.
5th day? of
You
the
just
week?
your parents have to pay for daycare because apparently they won't have school. I don't know if that's actually going to go through, but I saw people on Twitter talking about this. They're saying that they could go to 4-day work weeks. I bet you Kanye has like a weird schedule where it's like it's whatever everyone feels like doing that day. Like there's no set schedule.
Yeah.
It just is. And they're like, what does that mean? He's like, I don't know. You tell me.
That
You
sounds
remember in
perfect.
Arrested Development when maybe she goes to this school where they're graded with like animals?
Yeah.
Like, you got a crocodile on this essay. It's sort of like that. It's that vibe.
Like, yeah, like he rates everything on a scale of like 1 to Balenciaga. Like if you end up all the way at Balenciaga, you get a really good grade based on Kanye, and everybody else is like, wouldn't Balenciaga be the one? And we want to go up higher to something that's like a little less creepy. But
Yeah.
I think that's probably how they grade stuff there.
I just don't think grades are particularly important. I didn't like school.
School.
I don't know.
It's kind of like, or no, it's like I thought you were saying like, because like, were you like, did you do well in school?
It's
like-
fine.
like
I didn't do homework.
Looks don't matter.
Thoughts
Beautiful.
on Donda's laissez-faire attitude towards bullying?
Well, okay.
It's kind of like hockey. Ref just lets him fight.
Yeah, I feel like in-person stuff, if you're going to let the kids figure it out, okay. I like I said, technology, don't like it. So,
Yeah.
This
I don't
is
know.
a report of a student that slapped another student.
but was the other student allowed to slap the slapper back?
Doesn't sound like they did slap back,
But were
but were they allowed to?
like, is it,
Unknown.
I mean,
It says that there was no disciplinary system,
Yeah.
so this bully was not properly dealt with, and everyone just had to kind of turn a blind eye to it. But is that the right way?
I feel like if the kids are allowed to, like, I don't know, I remember you would get into actual just a fight, and if it happens, it happens. And as long as, you know, everyone deals with it, you kind of...
This is kind of part of Back to the Future, a movie that you'll never see.
Never.
That they had this, like, look the other way attitude towards bullying, and it's kind of the way things were back in the day.
Yeah, and plus, but the thing is, the bullying ended then when you went home,
right?
And then picked back up again when you went back to school. I actually
but they
point
didn't get
out
to harass you 24/7.
I actually maintain pretty frequently. This is a take of mine: is that yes. It meant like it's actually scarier to be bullied digitally now because it never ends.
No,
if somebody sets their sights on you, it used to be one of those things like just turn the phone off, and that works for somebody when you're my age and you're older and you can just ignore. Like somebody sends you something mean on Twitter, I can just ignore them. But if these are kids that you go to school with, that's actually asking more. If somebody goes to war, somebody goes to gets in a fight, you're in immediate danger then you deal with the aftermath afterwards. Now the kids are in a constant state of fear and panic.
Right.
And that's different than just getting in a fight. I shouldn't have said going to war. I was like, if you get into a fist fight, right? If you get into a fist fight, the physical altercation takes place right then and there. Then you deal with the broken jaw or the broken wrist or something. If you don't punch correctly, you go through it right then, and then it's over.
Right.
The digital harassment never stops with kids.
And usually, once that thing, the fight happens, it usually doesn't happen too many times afterwards.
Yeah.
Because you
even if you try to deal with it,
but then you're the bad guy too. If you're
you try to deal with a dispute with a physical fight, it's going to get recorded and posted anyway.
And then you get,
and it's going to go viral because the Twitter For You algorithm prioritizes
like
fight videos right now.
Yeah, really.
I'm very lucky to have grown up in a time when I didn't have to worry about that type of stuff and just got into regular fights.
Well,
the first thing people do when they see physical altercations these days,
is
bullying or not, is pull out a phone and record it, because you're better off doing that than trying to intervene.
Which is such a nasty thing. It's a horrible instinct.
I remember all the fights in high school, and we didn't really have the phones back then, but we did still crowd around.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
And then
stopped
eventually,
it.
But sometimes you might.
The teachers
could get their phones out fast enough, they'd film car wrecks going by too if they could, but they drive by too fast.
Well, when you see the car wreck video or any of those things, it's like someone might have died in there. It's kind of ghoulish to be watching it and awful.
The Misfit said, in terms of bullying, when it comes to verbal, it should be allowed because it builds resilience, but physical assault should not be allowed.
No.
There's too many cases today of kids being beaten and hospitalized by classmates.
Teachers too.
You see that with like you said, there are all these videos, and it's awful and disgusting.
Have you seen that meme?
But no one stops it.
It's like a newspaper headline. It says 2 men get drunk at a bar and go outside and try to shoot each other with bulletproof vests on. And the cops stop them, and it cuts to the South Park scene. It's like, I'm sorry, I thought this was America. I should be allowed to do that. Look, for kids, there was way more fistfights when I was a kid. That was just not a regular occurrence, but it happened.
I mean, the ugly truth is that sometimes the physical ends the verbal.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I also wonder, actually, if there were way more when we were kids or not. I feel like I've seen much worse things posted online about kids getting into fights than anything I remember from when I was a kid.
And now they're not getting punished for it. They're just getting... Also,
because
there was
I guess you did get punished if you got into a fight, but everyone got it.
They had the commie tactic back then where it didn't matter who started the fight. Well, yes, it does matter who started the fight.
My brother's school had a no defending yourself if someone attacks you policy. You can't hit back policy.
It breeds people who then say, I'll just let somebody rob my house because I value their life more than my possessions.
Everyone punished equally. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anyways.
I think that a lot of it is, I don't like the idea of advocating bullying. But there's a very clear delineation here that kids are suffering because they're not dealing with these types of interactions.
I think there's a difference between advocating bullying and just acknowledging that it's a part of socialization as you grow up.
Yeah.
And it's always been a thing, and it's also impossible to fully eradicate. And I think maybe we shouldn't try to eradicate it because it just means you're going to stop the kids who get bullied from defending themselves, and the bullies who want to bully are going to continue doing it.
Were you guys bullied?
Not particularly.
Brett?
I mean, I don't remember anything of the sort happening. I was kind of like most of my friends, like after when I played hockey, and then after hockey, most of my friends went to different schools.
Yeah.
So I didn't really hang out with most of the kids in my class.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really something that I experienced. But I know that it happened to people. But it was never the cartoonish version that you saw in movies and television. I didn't see people get pushed into lockers. I didn't see people crowding around other people and calling them names. There was people that maybe you didn't
I
get
saw
allowed.
this thread. Okay, there was like a TikTok that somebody posted that was like, here's like those like at-home videos that of like, graduating classes in like 2002 or 3 or like from all different years, where people would like take a video of like all of their classmates on the last day of high school. And they're like, they caption it like, wow, graduating in 2002 looks so chill, or whatever year it is. And then every quote tweet was someone in Gen Z saying, oh, they look like they would all call me the F slur.
What?
The what slur?
They look like they're all homophobic and they don't shower, or like some shit like that.
They would have called them the F slur back then.
It wasn't really a slur.
But not
No, it
because-
wasn't.
It's not like a hateful thing though.
No.
It's like not what you think it is,
Yeah. It was a different time.
Very different, yeah.
It was chill, and they would call you the F slur.
We were cool.
Things were, like life was I think Gen X was the last generation of people that were truly
Probably.
yeah.
Now, old millennials, I think we had it before. I think the cutoff line is like when the iPhone became ubiquitous.
Yeah.
And like
If you were like growing up with an iPhone,
Yeah.
I think that's, or even with the, like, if you can remember pre-internet, it's
kids
good.
in my class would just cheat by texting their friends the answers, and the phones just didn't have a lot. Like there weren't a lot of people texting. Teachers had no clue what they were doing.
Dude,
Yeah.
And I'm
that's
over
so
here.
funny.
My poor ass couldn't afford one yet because I was 15 or 16, and just had to learn the answers myself, and that sucks.
Or just accept.
Donda Academy wouldn't allow that.
Accept your
Donda
C-.
Academy probably takes the phones.
That's what I did.
That's what I was thinking. There are
always
probably
like
pretty strict phone policies with Donda students because you're not allowed to post anything about
Yeah.
being there. People who go there, or parents of students there, are not allowed to like publicly talk about it.
You don't talk about Donda.
It's like literally Donda's Fight Club.
That's even better. He gets Brad Pitt in there.
Yeah.
And
Who
Edward Norton.
knows?
They
We
guest
won't know
lecture.
who the lecturers are.
Yeah, they
It's
won't
part
tell
of the
him.
appeal. Like you
Yeah.
feel like you're part of something exclusive there.
The other thing that's funny about it is Dane and me were talking about this fairly recently. It's like, look, we're just from a generation where roasting your friends was part of the culture. Where, like, and maybe this is unique to guys. I don't know if, I always point to the meme where it's like girls like, oh my God, do I look fat? No, my gosh, you look beautiful. Guys like, do I look fat? So I was like, yeah, dude, I know 5 fat people and you're 4 of them. That's how guys talk to each other. When me and Dane talk to each other, it's politeness couched between insults and depravity.
Dude, he literally just insulted me downstairs because I didn't want to play poker because I was going to be on the show.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's just how guys talk.
Yeah.
And maybe we just shouldn't. We should go back to sex segregated classrooms, and girls can learn their way and guys can learn their way separately.
We should all be like the masters.
What if instead of all of them wearing black, the girls wear pink and the boys wear blue?
Oh, that is very
And it's
gender
segregated
it's very gender
classes.
segregated.
They would be more angry about that.
It
than
is
anything.
true, however, when you watch those old videos, they do look older. They look like they've lived more of a life by the
do.
time they were 18.
Was,
They're
Yeah.
less like
Yeah.
I don't know, like messed up by whatever is in the water or whatever is in the milk or
I think they look
the
older.
hormones, the
they do.
microplastics.
Well, I think now it's like now the new generation, like they're not drinking soda, they're eating healthier, or they're trying to eat healthier. I think, and
Are
maybe
they?
like they know what keto is. If you told, like, we had the Atkins diet when I was in high school, and I just made fun of you if you talked about it. Like that's a thing, right? So kids these days are probably just more health conscious.
I doubt that.
I don't know.
I don't know. You look at I like when you watch old movies and you're like, what was that? How old was Anatomy of a Murder?
Okay.
And it has George. He plays Patton in the movie Patton. I can't remember
George
his
C.
name.
Scott.
Yes. So he shows up in it, and he looks like old already, right? And looked up his age, and it's like,
He's like 35
he's like
or 40.
30. He's like 32, and
Yeah.
it's like he looks like I would have pegged him at like 45. And
Yeah,
it's like, oh, oops.
All the guys in
Crazy.
Ghostbusters were in like their 30s.
Yeah.
And they look like they're 50.
Yeah. Bill Murray never looked.
He's
But
always.
is it hard living?
Well, yeah, they did
in
get
the
to live
80s?
harder.
Everybody smoked. Everybody
Yeah.
smoked. And
In the 2000s?
everybody. Well,
High school
in the-
graduates in the 2000s
I mean,
looked older than
Yeah.
high school graduates now.
Always skipped the first like few weeks of like lacrosse and smoked cigarettes.
But they
all the
also looked better, I
Yeah.
think.
time. They look cooler.
less emotionally damaged.
I don't know. Like there's this like this genic kind of like terrified look in the eyes of Gen Z.
Yeah, well, it's their
These
phones
days.
are constantly terrorizing them with
They
push
act like
notifications.
demented, like literally dementia ridden.
Because you have a thing in your pocket that is constantly harassing you that you can't give up, otherwise you're a pariah.
It's terrifying.
Clef the Misfit said, the cutoff was when BLM, legal gay marriage, and safe spaces sprang up at the same time. I graduated in 2013, and there was no wokeness, and I was bullied plenty for being Jewish all throughout K through 12.
Same.
Clef, then do you feel
And
like
now you're the Burtoning.
yes.
So look at
Yeah.
him now, guys.
It's, I'm trying to think if I was like ever. I got lucky. Like I played hockey, I played sports, so I was involved in like athletics and then skating. Being like, I guess you could have like I could have been bullied, I guess, for being short, but that never seemed like it ever came up to me. Like
I get bullied more for being short now.
that's you think so?
Yeah.
It's,
I've gotten shorter as I've gotten older.
But for me, like I don't have recollections of that. I have one strong recollection of like one of the kids when I started skating making fun of me because I wasn't very good when I first started, and that like literally bothered me for like 15 years. Like to the point where I continued. I took skating as seriously as I did because this dude said like a mean thing to me.
Jeez.
Did you get better?
Yes. No, I eventually did it professionally. That's like
There you
literally
go.
but like nobody talked like that in person. Like and
Yeah.
stuff like that just wasn't very common. But I don't know.
One thing I wanted to bring up from this lawsuit is that the plaintiffs' complaints were never addressed. They say the school principal called them, quote, aggressive for raising these concerns. It says the plaintiffs believe this type of comment facilitates stereotypes about African American women being confrontational simply for doing their job and voicing legitimate concerns in order to provide a safe environment and proper education for students.
What is a safe environment anyway these days?
I think it's funny to get
It's a racial discrimination suit.
No.
kicked
Because
out
they
of,
say they're the only black women who were hired at Donda Academy. How many employees even were there? Probably like 10.
The owner is black.
We don't know.
The owner is literally black.
Yeah, but for like Kanye to kick someone out for being aggressive seems a little bit like
Well, it's-
pot kettle.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.